Hey everyone, welcome to my channel again today. Um, Today's share is for Craft Plus challenges, and it is this fun needles and pins challenge. It took me a little while to come up with my idea for this one, but I really love my finished projects, which are here. I ended up making 3 cards. You will see my process that I had 4 card fronts and I only ended up using 3, and I will explain as the process goes through. As you can see here, I'm starting with my craft cardstock. I'm actually using Crumb Cake by Stampin' Up. This is an A4 sheet that I'm cutting down to 4 card fronts, which I'm measuring a little bit smaller than a card front so that I've got a border. If you want the measurements, they are 10 centimeters by 14.3 centimeters, which is a standard A5. Well, it leaves a border for a standard A5 card. I'm just showing you here, I'm roughly sketching out the design that I'm going to go with, and this first one you can probably tell by the shape I'm sketching is a triangle, which I'm going to make into a Christmas tree. I'm not going to make you watch me sketch all these out, but I did want to show you this one. This is the one that I ended up not using. I'll explain in a while, but I wanted to get some actual circles, so I grabbed my circle dies and a pencil, well, the same pencil, and I'm just tracing around the circle dies once I'm happy with the placement, and I've just, yeah, that's what I'm going to use as my template for this one. Pop that away, and here are my 4 finished designs. I'm going to come back and show you, so a Christmas tree, I've just used green thread and gone back and forward. A candy cane, I've used white and red. A star, which is gold. And then my Christmas baubles, which I was happy with to start with. I love the texture of them. I love the texture on all of these. Hang on 2 seconds. Something weird's going on. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on, if it's my computer or what. I've mixed up some Lindy's Magical Shakers here. The colour had dried in my little palette, and I added water, and I'm just sprinkling some colour on. You can see straight away on that Christmas tree that the colour's really spreading out a lot more than I had wanted it to. I think that I added too much water to the tray, and so my colours were way too watercolory for what I was after, which I was really upset and disappointed with myself about, but that's okay because I work around it. I popped aside the 2 that I'd sprinkled the Lindy's on to dry, and I'm working on my candy cane now. Just used some red paint, added some water, and I've splattered that on. For my gold star, I'm going to start with some gold High to Shine sprinkles. And some gold on all of the rest of them as well. So you can see that those splatters are little blobs, and I'm really unhappy with how they're looking. Decided to come in with some white dilutions and a paintbrush here. Thinking maybe if I add more that'll help. Nope, it doesn't. So I'm going to finish sprinkling, and then it's going to cut out again. And so what I did, I ended up cutting out the Christmas tree, and I cut out the Christmas baubles as well. But I just wasn't happy with the Christmas baubles, so I just went, you know what, 3 cards is good enough. And I'm just going to, I don't know what I'm going to do with the baubles, but that's okay. So I've started again. This card front is going to be for my Christmas tree. And you can see I've got a craft card base here, and it's cut from exactly the same colour as what my card front is cut from. I'm using this stamp by Darkroom Door. It's all messy script Christmas words, and I've just used my Tim Holtz stamp platform to stamp that a couple of times in the background. Wanted my Christmas tree to stand out a bit more, so I'm going over with some gesso, and I'm not bothering to be particularly neat about it. I'm just smearing it's not colour, it's white, just smearing the gesso on. I'm going to pop that one aside to dry, and then I'm pretty sure I mounted that. Coffee. What am I doing? So I've got these Tim Holtz Christmas word sticker thingies. I can't remember what they're called. I'm going to use a couple of those on each of my card fronts. I'm just going to stick those down. At this point, I felt like I needed a bit of a contrast on here, so I grabbed some red thread. I'm just going to tuck that underneath the corner of my tree where my sentiment is. Use a bit of wet glue and glue it in place, and also glue down those sentiments. With all that texture from the stitching, nothing wanted to stick. But these cards feel really awesome. I love the texture it brings. Just using my gesso to weigh that down. I'm going to keep my star pretty simple. I'm going to add my couple of sentiments, but when I put them down, I'm like, oh, they get a bit lost. So I pulled out my red paint again. I'm going to water that down a bit. I add too much water, so I soak some of that up, which is what I'm doing here. And then I just do a really quick couple of brush strokes behind where I know I'm going to put those sentiment stickers. So these cards are not particularly complicated. Some of the stitching was a little bit complicated is not the right word. You just have to go slowly is what I discovered. I added some more splatters, and I'm just going to stick down my two sentiments. Put that one aside to dry. And my candy cane. So I actually ended up, I think after this paint was dry, I ended up going over the candy cane with the white again. So the candy cane has got another, I'm showing you a close up here. You can see I've gone around the candy cane with the white stitching all the way around, and then the white section of the candy cane, and I've stuck some double-sided, well, it's not double-sided, it's just some foam. My husband picked it up for $2 for this massive roll at a garage sale last weekend. I was like, hey, I'll use that. It's not super high, but it gives a bit of dimension. So that's what I'm using to add some dimension to these card fronts. Adding my candy cane to a white card and my star to a craft card. Just picking out a couple of sentiments to go on the candy cane one. And I'm really happy with how these turned out. Something different. And like I said, the texture on these cards is so awesome, especially on that tree. It's so cool. And so I'm just sticking that down. I'm going to give you a close-up of all of them. So there's the first one, my star, and then my Christmas tree. Super happy with how these came out. So make sure you head over to the Craft Plus blog to link up your take on this month's challenge, needles and pins. I'd love to see what you do with the challenge. This was super fun for me. Like I said, I'm really excited about these cards. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed my video. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm only 10 away from that elusive 1000. Welcome to all my new subbies. Thank you to my ever supportive current subbies, and I will be back again very soon. Thanks for watching.